And that is our strength. Because when we're doubted, we'll play as one. When we're held back, we'll go farther and harder. If we're not taken seriously, we'll prove that wrong. And if we don't fit the sport, we'll change the sport. We know things won't always go our way.
And the world's sporting events are postponed or cancelled.
But whatever it is, we'll find a way. And when things aren't fair, we'll come together for change.
We have a responsibility
to make this world a better place.
And no matter how bad it gets, we will always come back stronger. Because nothing can stop what we can do together. We're never alone. And that is our strength. Because when we're doubted, we'll play as one. When we're held back, we'll go farther and harder. If we're not taken seriously, we'll prove that wrong. And if we don't fit the sport, we'll change the sport. We know things won't always go our way.
And the world's sporting events are postponed or cancelled.
But whatever it is, we'll find a way. And when things aren't fair, we'll come together for change.
We have a responsibility
to make this world a better place.
And no matter how bad it gets, we will always come back stronger. Because nothing can stop what we can do together.
Partnership of 47 between these two.
Yes, just a strike away from 15, which will give them an additional 1 if it's a boundary. So 31 from 16, not bad. 15 from 15. Oh, he's pulling out the reverse sweep. He's having it all his way. And this time it's a beautiful reverse sweep shot.
Yeah,
My word.
That looks sweet. That was a nice shot.
Yes, he's pulling out all of his stocks. When it comes off, it looks real nice. When
it does look cool.
It looks cool. Look at that. Switch it. And I'm telling you, that was well placed.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of attempts at that haven't quite been pulled off as nicely as that one.
That's right. Now he's playing for the single. So the 50 partnership comes up. As a matter of fact, it's gone to 51. I did call it, right? I said they're 1 strike away. If they get an extra, it'd go to 51. Now it's 52.
You're quite right. And did it in style as well.
Do you want the lotto numbers?
If you don't mind. That'd be lovely.
Oh boy. Again, want to heal up some folks there. We know that Miss Mertrice Nisbet over there in New York is watching the proceedings here. And Lynette Fox and Cardinal Ms. Lynette Fox. We understand you're looking at the game here. President of the Nevis Cricket Association, Mr. Carlisle Powell, is the one who alerted me that Mr. Colin Archibald is here out of the tiny island of Nevis, but small but Talawa.
Did you manage to find him after the last game? Managed to say hi?
Yes, and he had an interview, of course. The great Vinod interviewed the man from Queen City. So here's another boundary as this one just trickles across the boundary rope. So they're serving up boundaries. This is a good recovery. 40 from 19. You look at the replay here. Bowling around the sticks and he's using his feet nicely, square driving.
Yeah, coming forward to that ball. Really pushing it onto the offside.
Yes, so, well, we're not going to say if he's going to get to 50 because we would have said that. And it was not realized in the last game. Batsman stuck. This time he's sweeping again.
Yeah,
Didn't time it.
I was about to say the same thing. Didn't quite time it, but gets a single anyway, and Otley comes on strike for the last ball of the over. He's currently 16 from 16.
Yes, keeping company and partnership of what? Some 58. 64 for 2 into over number 7.
11 off the over so far. Let's see what they can do with the last ball.
Outside the off stump, he's punching on the back foot. Goes out to cover sweeper and the ambles through for a single. So the end of over number 7, 65 for 2. Otley's on 17 from 17 and Vijay Ratney is on 41 from 20. A partnership of 59. Good recovery.
Very good recovery. Yeah, they, as we mentioned before, if you're just tuning in, Titans lost a couple of early wickets in the first 2 overs, and the 2 batsmen at the crease have put on, what was it, 59 runs since then, which setting them up nicely. They just need to keep going now, make sure they don't do anything too stupid.
Yeah, they've stabilized the inning, but Ashinos has been pulled out of the attack, and I think quite rightly so. But he was not unsung. But he can always come back. These guys are experienced cricketers. I don't think they're going to go down fighting. It's always good that you can always gain that confidence and say, I'll be back.
Definitely.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back.
Thought he was in the room with me. He's based on the other side of the country in California, I believe.
Okay. Yes, folks, you're viewing the maqtv.com with live cricket coming to you from the Broward County Stadium, an ICC approved venue. So you're looking at Titans taking on the Punjab Blues. Early in the day, Punjab Blues would have called right and decided to field first. Titans made heavy weather of the opening overs within the first power play early on, but they recovered well, these 2 batters. And they're presently on 62 for 2. They have to bat deep, at least take it up to at least 12 overs and keep on going, and they'll probably realize at least over 150, 160. Batsman is driving, but not interested in getting more than 1.
Yeah, playing it safe at the moment. Don't want to do anything too over the top. Just keep that scoreboard ticking over. Currently 66 for 2.
Yes, if they would have had a finisher, I think their platform has been set now, so we can forget about the 2 early wickets. They've recovered well. They could have been 66 for 2 with a partnership of 50 and still end up at 66 for 2. You'll say, well, they're doing well in the driver's seat. This is only over number 8. This time he's giving himself room and he's playing this one with soft hands for a single.
Yeah, he angled the bat nicely on that to get the ball down to third man.
Titans trying to set a target. Outside the off stump. Plays this one into the offside. Comes off the outer edge, but he's going to get a single for his effort.
Yeah, slight misfield there, which enabled them to quite easily get the single in. But the ball was coming pretty quickly at him, so he did well to stop it as well as he did.
So Zia Khan is the new bowler, and done well so far. From his 4 deliveries, only 3 runs so far. So, and this time, lights out, camera, and it is action. Trying this cheeky shot again, and there was no need for that.
It was just a straight ball. He just missed it.
Knocked the leg stump out. Well, not really out, but he knocked it back. And that's all it takes. Just one bail have to be removed. Sir Peter Nero would say, you just need to remove that one bail. Don't need to knock the pole out of the ground. You don't need to knock both bails off. Just have to knock the bail off. And where does the bail have to fall? Does it fall on the top or below? It just has to fall below. And 3rd wicket. But they did well for themselves. And again, what do you call it, the commentators curse? Because they said they studied the ship. They could have been 50 for the opening pair, and then end up at 66 for 2, and you will say, well, good going.
I'm not going to blame you for it, but they might.
They might.
They might.
My word, I have to...
Have to watch your back now.
You have to watch my back, yes, yes, yes.
Zia Khan did well to read the batsman there, saw him moving across and just made sure he kept the ball straight on the stumps.
So what do we say now? Sometimes we don't give the captains enough credit. They took Ashley Nurse off, replaced him with Zia Khan, and Zia Khan needed no assistance from hand to stump.
Yeah, he's done really well in this over. Only three runs from it and a wicket with his 5th ball. 1 more to go. Be great if he could keep it as tight as he's been doing. And especially with the new batsman at the crease, he'll be raring to go to get some balls to get some balls at this batsman, which we will find out who it is shortly.
And I know he can't blame me for not making the 50. Vinod would tell you he had 1 year here where nobody can get a 50.
No one.
No one just couldn't get it. It's stuck in the 40s. And what I had to do to get a 50, I had to stand up.
You had to stand up.
Yes.
It's a long time standing.
Yes, and when in the 40s, said anybody in the 40s now had to stand.
In the same place and not move.
Don't move, stand right here. If you have to commentate, to stand. And I stand, and there goes the 50.
Well, he might blame you for not standing up then.
Well, yes. But shh,
I won't tell him.
Don't tell him.
Secret safe with me.
There we go. There we go. Well, that's the end of a magnificent over. It's a productive over in which we would have realized the wicket. 69 for 3.
New man at the crease, Kasif Ali, run off his 1st ball and will retain the strike at the change of ends at the end of the over.
So you think I'd be wrong if I say he's farming the strike? He got 1 ball, the last ball, and then he just ran a single so he can get the strike at the other end.
He's ready to go, isn't he? Doesn't want to waste any time. Get me on strike, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, so John Otley, you stay at the other end and just look at my mastery.
I've got
over
this,
here.
don't you worry.
I've got this, don't worry. I've got this. Over number 9, it's going to be coming from the far end, and this Ashley is going to get his preferred end. I just had to say that because he got walloped from this end and they carted him around, and now let's see if they're going to continue to cart him across the square.
Change of scenery, you never know, might make a difference. They always say it's good to get a change of scenery if you're not feeling great, and we'll see if this makes a difference for Ashley Nurse.
Well, if he bowls a good over here, I can tell you what he's going to say. Remember, I can see through walls now. He's going to say, it is that umpire down here who's calling me no balls. I was fearful of him. So I gave up 15 runs off the over.
Yeah.
So we'll watch and
we'll wait and see, won't we?
We'll wait and see. German Lindo, let us see if you are going to be the culprit, because Ashley Nurse he's not going to spare any punches. But he has bowled two good deliveries so far, a dot and a single.
Yeah, he needs to keep it tight, and that 15 off the first over will not look too awful if you push it all together with the other runs.
Yes, well, the batsman who was all over him has departed. So Astinos has said, well, now is my chance to get at these two new batters. And like I said earlier, these guys are experienced guys. They're not going to be knocked out of the thing. Here's an aggressive shot being played, but it's going to the cover sweeper. They're thinking two, but aborted the thought of a second. They will have been flirting with danger.
Yeah, that was good fielding, quick fielding. Managed to get the ball back to the keeper.
Yes.
To stop them even thinking about the second run there.
Well, halfway through he's over, and just 2 runs coming from it so far. So bowling his off spinners and a dot into the scores book. He needs no assistance in fielding this one. He fields it himself. You can see he's on top of things now. He bustled back to his mark quickly. Oh, down the leg side, a wayward delivery. Was a quicker one, and the wicketkeeper did well to get some glove on that one.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is a much better over from Nurse, and then he goes and bowls to wide.
So he has to go in the extras column, but at least it's not a free hit. He would have bowled 2 no balls, but this time he flings one down the leg side, so extras again helping its way. This time he's stroking it back along the onside. He fields to his own bowling. So 1 legal delivery left, and if they can't score a boundary from here, I'll have to say he would have won the battle. And there goes German Lindo, going to get the blame for his 15-run first over.
Must have been the umpire's fault.
It must have been, because he changed end, and the pitch is the same 22 yards. So it's got to be the umpire.
No other options.
I mean, what else can it be? The poor umpires get blamed for everything, so why not blame him on this one?
Yeah, might as well.
Might as well.
They're going to get blamed for something at some point, I'm sure, so might as well start there.
Of course. I got 15 runs for my first over from your end. My second over, I got 4, aided by a wide from myself.
Exactly.
Whose fault could it be?
Well, it's definitely not his.
It cannot be his fault. Well, over number 9 is done and dusted. Remember, it's a 2020 encounter. So again, we want to shout out all of the viewers viewing the MAQ TV. Mr. Watson. And this time the batsman is covering up. They're thinking 2, and they're no. Widely sent back there by the non-striker Ali. But Otley was really willing to chance it, coming at the non-striker's end, but the throw was going to Ali's end. So Ali said, no, I'll be flirting with danger.
Yeah, the fielding's been good from the Punjab Blues. They've been running towards the ball, getting it back quickly, trying to prevent those twos. As we saw in the last game, the twos add up pretty quickly and they can make a big total, so they've done well to restrict them.
This time a swing and a miss outside the off stump. The wicketkeeper is appealing, and that one moved away from the left-handed Otley. So he has not been getting much of the strikers of late, but he's 20 from 24. See, this one going further and further away, but it's a legal delivery. Passed him inside the guided mark there for the wide, but it moved a long way. We're not on the outside, but I think some Jew might be setting in here right about now. We're under lights. This time, bang, into the offside, and there's coverage there to the right. This time they're going to be running a comfortable 2.
Good throw back to the keeper.
Yeah, I like this bowler action. I can see he's taking the ball away from the left-hander, but there's a man up in the third man up in the circle. So if he gets a thin edge past the keeper, he's going to go all the way to the boundary. time he's playing at this one and missing, swing and a miss. And again, we have to commend the wicket keepers. We know they're feeling with gloves, they're feeling with outer pads, but it's still a job that needs to be done.
It is. It's a lot more grueling, I think, than people realise. Lots of ups and downs and bending and running back and forth. I know the bowlers cover a lot of ground, but wicket keepers do a pretty good job too.
You would know because you would keep, and the wicket keeper, believe it or not, they're the one who have to keep an eye on every single ball.
They're also the ones that the bowlers rely on when they're appealing to the umpires. They're like, that was out, must have been out. Yeah.
Exactly. And I'm glad you said that, because a lot of time people think it's the bowler. No, that bowler is running in here. Sometimes he's not stationary. The keeper is stationary. He's in his follow through. He's probably going somewhere. So I don't rely on any bowler for any appeal, any reviews and stuff.
No, well, for them it's always out.
It's always out. Exactly. You've said it right here, Sasha. Yeah. Go, skipper. Take that review. Yeah. He's out.
Yeah, it's I don't know a bowler that doesn't think he's got a wicket when he's appealing. Always looks baffled when it's not given.
Well, I can jog your memory if you're too young for that. So but I'll inform you. Mr. Vinod here would know. One person.
I'm too young.
It's, well, Carl Hooper. Yeah. Carl Hooper bowls and you drop a catch from him, he's just ready to bowl the next delivery. He's the school, yeah. He doesn't bother him. He gets a wicket and you don't even know that he got a wicket. He just goes back to his mark. What you guys are worried about?
Yeah.
I'm ready to bowl.
Doesn't sound like any bowler I know.
Well, that's Carl Hooper for you. Yep.
Yeah, there are some bowlers that are more relaxed than others. Others will give you looks that could kill.
Oh, I'm telling you, man, you get the steer down, you drop a catch, you misfeel from some bowlers. The steer down or the stamp down, and you know, the choice words they will be getting. Oh my goodness, you'll think that this did something to their mother.
Yeah, there are definitely some names I'm thinking of when you say that. Mm-hmm. I would say Jimmy Anson's got one of the worst stares if you misfield a ball off him.
Oh, this one is in the air. Let's see, it doesn't have the distance. It juggled the catch, but it takes it in the end. Yes. Oh my God, the opening bowler, the bearded man, he takes the catch.
A little bit of acrobats over there, just playing with the batsman.
And I can tell you right now that Ashley Nurse is definitely going to blame my umpire, Mr. Jermaine Lindo. He comes from the top of from the northern end and has bowled 2 tidy overs so far. Carted all over the park in the first over for 15 runs. What could it be?
Well, it's definitely not his fault.
It's definitely not his fault because he's changed end and...
Oh, he's got a wicket.
But of course. Got a wicket. He said, Skip, I don't want to bowl from this end here. I don't like bowling from this end here with the officiating that's going on down here. He's calling me no balls, even though my feet are obviously going over. I'm an international cricketer. Why should he call me and embarrass me?
Yeah.
Because I'm a spinner.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's just rude.
Just rude. I have to get away from him. You know, there's a saying, if you can't beat them, you must join them. But no more. If you can't beat them, you must shun them. So he would have shunned the senior umpire.
Well, he's definitely made a point moving to the other end, hasn't he?
Okay, I rest my case. Folks, we're just having fun here. The umpire is calling his game, and we're just looking at an excuse for him to get to the other end. But here's reward. He has gone in the wicket column. Imagine that, you know, he's gone 1 over for 15 runs. Now he's gone 2.2 overs for 19. So just 4 runs coming from the second over. They have not scored. So are we going to see a maiden wicket?
Well, that would be something, wouldn't it, following his first over?
Yes. And he's on track for that. He's on track for that.
Have you touched wood?
Oh, I don't want to get the commentators because it's nice to see a maiden wicket. Let's see. And yes, indeed, because the batsman come forward. I think there's one legal delivery left. And the way how the batter has come out and went long forward, as in if he's in a test match, I think he's going to do more of the same. Oh no, he's going big. He's gone big. And he has gone for US Open maximum. So he has spoiled it.
He has, but if you're going to do it, you got to do it properly, and he really did go for that. Is the name on the back of the shirt Beef Stew? I think it is.
Yes, Beef Stew 25.
If that's his nickname, I'd quite like to know the story behind that.
So Ashina's guilty of over pitching there, and he pulled out the boom and slug sweep it to the deep mid-wicket boundary for 6. But nonetheless, it's the end of a successful over. He got the wicket, and he should be happy for that. But he's gone for 1 for 25 from 3. So just 10 runs coming from his last 2 overs.
Yeah, I think he'd be pleased with the way he came back from the first over. Like you said, they're all professionals. They don't dwell on things that have happened in the past. They just move on, and he's done really well coming back and getting the wicket in that last over, as you saw, juggling the ball in the deep, but managed to cling onto it, and that brought Navin Stewart to the crease, who just hit that last 6.
Yes, indeed. Well, we have Jasdeep Singh is brought back into the attack. He would have bowled some 2 overs. Early in the day, Punjab Blues won the toss and decided that they're going to field first.
Miles, great shot, oh, it's a biggie, straight over the top. The little man has hit the big fella for 6. He's off his size, and he's smashed him down the ground. What a player, what a wonderful player. Oh, this is high, what a 6, what a 6, way down the ground, it's on the roof. Oh, that's gone straight up in the air, well one from the...
MAQ Group is the real estate investment company. Our goal at MAQ Group is to provide you with the expertise and service you need to do business in today's complex market. More information visit maqtv.com. Our latest project for investment: Cedar Creek Road, Fayetteville, North Carolina at exit 49 on I-95, 4825 Windsor Place, Pomfret, Maryland, Charles County, 511 West Bridge Road, Fayetteville, Georgia, Fayette County.
So we're going to be having double change coming up shortly. That way we'll be able to get some dinner, Sasha.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yes, we have to feed the worms, I have to feed the worms, or they feed in my stomach. Outside the off stump, and he's playing and he's fishing on dry land. Oh, the replay. Oh, I forgot.
Thought that looked quite similar to the last ball.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Yes. Well, Navin Stewart, well, he bats a little early today. He's batting at number 6. That's your man of business there, Vinod. You asked for him yesterday, so he has 9 overs in which to to get a 50, and if he gets into the 40, I promise I'll stand.
Made that mistake last time by not standing,
By
and
not standing, yes.
he's now back in the changing rooms, probably ruining the day.
Yes. .84 for 4. That's the latest score here as he over the wicket, and this time the batsman is getting it out of the middle of the bat, but not playing an aggressive shot, just guiding it, getting it off the square for a single. So Artie been there for quite some time, some 5 overs for himself. He faced 30 deliveries. He scored 24. So he has got to stay to the end because he's a little behind the strike rate here.
Yeah, he's taking his time, but we need someone to stay in and anchor this innings, and I think Otley is probably the man to do that.
Yes, well, Navin Stewart can hit a long ball, so if he stays there, I can tell you that they would realize a good total in which they hope to defend. They would have lost their first match yesterday. This is the second match. Punjab Blues are playing the first. This one is sitting up in the air, but again, there's no close-in fielder on the onside. They're all boundary riders, deep backward square leg, deep mid-wicket, and wide long on. And there's no man within the 30-yard circle. That one was hit up. And now they're going to try to... No, it's a left-right combination. So Jasdeep Singh is brought back into the attack. Like the move, this time he's pulling, but his coverage down there is going to go quickly to the deep backward square leg. And no time during the shot they would have thought of 2.
Yeah, it was quick fielding. Managed to get it back, and as you say, there was no chance of them getting more than 1 run there. Last ball of the over. And that's a lovely shot for 4. That's gone down to long on, who couldn't quite get the ball, and 4 off the last ball. And there's going to be a double change in the commentary box.
Thanks a lot, Sasha. Of course, I know that you'll be going. That was Navin Stewart. Shorthand jab, you call that, straight down the ground. I know that Ivor Henry will be taking you now for dinner. Hope it's not dinner mints. He's a very frugal guy, you know. The Titans 91 for 4. Let me welcome a very dear friend of mine and a senior man in the setup at Cricket Council USA, a man who I consider, from the knowledge I have of American cricket, would have done a lot of work, would have done yeoman service in the development of cricket in Chicago. Shiraz Najam. Good afternoon, my friend. Good night, in fact.
Yes, good evening, Vinod. Thanks for the kind introduction. Yes, done a lot, but not enough.
Well, you're quite a young guy, so I know that a lot will still be done. Of course, he's the big man with the Chicago Catchers. Not probably getting the season they wanted this year, but there's always next year.
Yes, obviously growing pains, and like any club, we're going through that. Let's see, even minor leagues having some adjustments, so we're hoping to reinforce with some new players, new talent, new management style, so hopefully we'll have a better year next year.
Yeah, what I would like to see, though, is that the youngsters coming through the system. Of course, let's take, for instance, in Chicago, young Mahad, you know, he should be coming through the system. There should be a system where, you know, these guys, because he has talent, they are the future generation. It's not only about bringing foreign interest into cricket here in America and, you know, using people of the diaspora. You have local grown like Mahad, and that's helped away around the corner by Navin Stewart. That score goes on now to 96 for the loss of 4.
Yes, and Ashley Nurse coming in, a little bit of an expensive spell here. 3.3 and already gone for 30. He got success with 1 wicket. And that was a good one. It was Kashif Ali who had some laurels that he earned in the Kashmir Premier League. So he did well to get him going, but still nonetheless, caliber of Ashley Nurse, 30, a little bit, couple of runs over what he would want to give away.
Yeah, and this time Stewart goes again. He's a big hitter. Probably a good man to have in there at this point in time. Sometimes on the domestic scene in America, he opens the batting. And he was the man of the match in the 2018 and 2019 finals of the US Open, which speaks a lot. Keon Otley from Trinidad and Tobago as well. His brother Yannick plays for the US All-Stars. He had a good knock today. He had 30 odd. And Keon is now on 26. Stuart 16 of 8, 97 for 4. Well, the last time I saw you, Shiraz, I think it was in Sharjah, supporting Pakistan.
Yes, and what a wonderful... oh, there you go. That's lights on as soon as we talk about my trip to Sharjah. And that's a red light. Perhaps the wife is listening on the other end of this.
Oh, So Keon Otley goes. He struggled a bit. The experience of Ashley Nurse have been able to disturb him. And that's now 97 for 5. 1 delivery shy of 13 overs. Nurse 1 for 31. Hasn't been the best spell, but he gets rid of the dangerous Otley. Otley is one of those players who uses a few deliveries up front, and then all of a sudden he explodes, and didn't get that chance this time.
Yeah, and that was a great delivery. He kind of gauged Otley's strength. I think he needed some width and ability to kind of free his arms. So he kind of cramped him for the room, and then obviously played all over that last delivery. Now suddenly these figures look so much better by just adding 1 to the wicket column, right? 1 for 30 versus 2 for 31. It makes it that much better in a T20 game, doesn't it?
Definitely. And back to Sharjah. We have an opportunity now with the wicket falling. What did you do with that massive Pakistani flag?
Oh, it's at home. I can wrap it around. We're going to pick it up again and head over to Australia in 2022 and go ahead and support our boys. They did wonderfully, unexpectedly wonderfully well. It was a new Pakistan team. If you've been following Pakistan or Caribbean cricket, they're much similar, right? They're very mercurial. Mm-hmm. You can't predict what you're going to get with each outfit, but this Pakistan team was much different. It was predictable.
Solid.
Yes. Very
good
methodical.
Leadership. Yeah, I thought good leadership by Baba Azam. Asma Najam, your brother, he keeps me informed, and he said that you had an unbeaten run as a supporter, but that ended sadly in the semi-finals.
Yes, it did. But one of my runs is still unbeaten, which is my attendance on any India-Pakistan game where I'm in the stadium.
And you will treasure that more than anything else. This is a delivery that's pulled away.
But there's a
down to the backward square. There is a fielder there. And that's one more carry pair. Another Trinidad and Tobago player and West Indies player comes in now. So... Yep.
And as you can see on your screen, Jaskaran Malhotra, what a wonderful ICC tournament he had, where he hit 6 sixes and was also nominated to be named the Player of the Month. And what a feat he has achieved. I think only 1 or 2 other cricketers have done that before him.
Well, it all started with Sir Garfield Sobers, who struck 6 sixes. Well, that was in the English County League. This is played away, just opening the face a bit, Carey Pair. He had a good knock in the first game, although the Titans lost. That was yesterday. So you just opened the face, played it late, and down to the boundary for 4. Yes, Sir Garfield Sobers did it. And that was in England, playing at Swansea. And then you had Mansoor Ilahi. He did it in Pakistan in domestic cricket. Ravi Sastry did it as well. He struck 6 sixes of a guy named Kirti Azad. You would remember that?
Yes. And
then in the World Cup in the West Indies, and this is where international play comes in now, Herschel Gibbs struck the leg spinner from Netherlands called Van Bunga for 6 sixes in St. Kitts. And then after that, you had Yuvraj Singh hitting Stuart Broad for 6 sixes as well. And then you had Kyron Pollard doing it to Dhananjaya de Silva in Antigua earlier this year.
And I wish we could show Vinod's expression while he was going through those factoids, if you will, and the pleasure he was getting out of pulling these things from his memory. And it's such an amazing thing for me to see right here, Vinod, how your memory bank serves you so correctly at the right time. And I think that's for all emerging commentators. If there is a word of wisdom, study the game.
Yeah, you have to be a student of the game. You know, it's like I was having a discussion with Dinesh Ramdin the other night, and he told me that he's still learning.
Look at that. Never ends.
Yeah,
the
he's
learning
a
never
student
ends.
of the game. And I think anything you do, you have to be willing to learn to the very end. So anytime you think you know too much, then you get cocky, you get arrogant, and that is where the downfall comes. That is where it starts. And you know, I've also looked at you, and you're a successful businessman, successful cricket administrator, and yet you always, remain humble and willing to help.
And I wish that all our listeners follow in the footsteps of Vinod, learn the game, be humble in success. And Ali Khan and I were having a chat last night at our hotel lobby, and I consider Ali Khan as one of the poster childs of USA cricket.
Yeah.
Right, and his ability to transcend from local cricket to international cricket has been the blueprint that a lot of American cricketers, and that's the 4 right there.
That's 4 runs. That one was hoiked away down too deep with wicket. The runs continues to come, and yes, you were making the point, Shiraz.
Yes, and I'm really impressed by the way he had been able to conduct himself in terms of being humble throughout the journey. He is known who has supported him. Initially, he had some local presence, but really put on the map by this very tournament, the U.S. Open, where he was joined in the team of U.S. All-Stars with Darren Bravo, the champion. And then the champion picked him up and took him to Trinidad and Tobago for the Night Riders.
Yeah. But the real champion made that happen. That's McCurry.
Absolutely.
He invested his money. He brought Darren and Dwayne Bravo to play for his team. So that was a negotiation that I was in the middle of. So I can tell you that he paid to bring those guys here. Ali Khan obviously was on his team, and they were able to notice Ali. And Bravo then took him to GT20 and then to TKR, and that's the story sells itself out.
We're never alone. And that is our strength. Because when we're doubted, we'll play as one. When we're held back, we'll go farther and harder. If we're not taken seriously, we'll prove that wrong. And if we don't fit the sport, we'll change the sport. We know things won't always go our way.
And the world's sporting events are postponed or cancelled.
But whatever it is, we'll find a way. And when things aren't fair, we'll come together for change.
We have a responsibility
to make this world a better place.
And no matter how bad it gets, we will always come back stronger. Because nothing can stop what we can do together. We're never alone. And that is our strength. Because when we're doubted, we'll play as one. When we're held back, we'll go farther and harder. If we're not taken seriously, we'll prove that wrong. And if we don't fit the sport, we'll change the sport. We know things won't always go our way.
and the world's sporting events are postponed or cancelled.
But whatever it is, we'll find a way. And when things aren't fair, we'll come together for change.
We have a responsibility
To make this world a better place.
And no matter how bad it gets, we will always come back stronger. Because nothing can stop what we can do together.
Dumped a good few balls into the sea.
Wow. Nevin Gonzalez Stewart.
Nevin Gonzalez Stewart.
I like that name.
Yeah.
There's something about people with three names, really. It kind of has a nice tune to it.
Yeah. So Gonzalo is on 27. Kari Pair is on 6. And Nushtush Keniji, none for 26. He's in his third over. Keon Otley, the batsman, dismissed for 26. So the Punjab Blues, as Stewart whips this around the corner. It was always going to be a difficult catch. It's into the boundary for 4. The fielder on that occasion approached it. He attacked it. So I want to give him credit for attacking that ball, but it was always dipping on him, and it went into the boundary for 4. Let's have a look. Stewart going outside the off stump to make room to get it onto the onside. And that's the fielder approaching. It bounced. Actually, it bounced just before him. That is great camera work. And, of course, great work by the production team, led by Roddy Lalman. This is Gonzalo going down the ground. And that's 6 runs. So, Nevin Gonzalo Stewart is lighting up Central Broward at this point in time.
Yes, and there's no hurricane in the forecast, so but still, he's going at it. I've been at US Open for several years, as you know. This is our 12th or 13th edition going on as we speak. And he has been a regular performer for the last 5 or 6 years.
You know, I was having a conversation with him, and he told me when he initially, and this is so interesting, initially when he came to play cricket in America, other cricketers in Trinidad and Tobago poked fun at him. Outside the off stump, it's just cracked away, putting good power on that. He's only going to get 1. And they told him, you're fighting down bush cricket. Nevin then continued. He continued his journey here. He did some classes with young kids. You know how it is. And playing here, playing there. Now when he looks back, just over his shoulder, he tells me that so many cricketers are now here playing what they term, quote-unquote, bush cricket.
Absolutely, and that's the new version and the new format that has taken life. How about, Vinod, I propose that we do something a little different for this segment. I'm seeing that we've got a lot of traffic on our Facebook page suddenly. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of people that are actually putting out comments like Karen Smith, we've got Judy Garcia. Everybody is really enjoying the coverage. So what we'll do is we'll have people who are watching us, especially on Facebook Live, to put out some questions or comments for the legendary commentator, Mr. Vinod, and have him answer some of your questions. These can be cricket facts. So let's play Stump Vinod.
Stump Vinod. Well, Nevin Stewart is going up in the air, high into the air, and he has entertained us, but he leaves for 38 of 19 deliveries, and if my math serves me right, that's a strike rate of 200. A delivery outside the off stump, it took the top edge, it went 1.5 miles in the air, it nearly brought down an American Airlines jet with it, and a lovely catch there by the bowler. Those are always difficult catches to take, because sometimes the ball goes beyond the light, and then all of a sudden it appears, and you have a short reactionary time. Nevin Stewart leaves the arena for 38. It's 127 for 6 of 15 overs.
Yes, and a strike rate of over 200, and that's the way to go, right? If you get your team a good quick fire 25 plus with a strike rate of anything that's over 180, then as a batsman you have done and contributed towards the total that your team is trying to get to.
Yeah, I think he's put his team in a position that they would not be too happy with the number of wickets they have lost, but 127, 5 overs to go. What do you think might be a good final score here, given the current situation?
Yeah, I think in the day games we're looking at about 170, 180. I think because it's night cricket, it's a little bit, I want to say for the batting team, it might be a little bit more difficult just from a do perspective and everything. So I think anything over 165, 170 might be a good score. But T20 cricket, all it takes is a couple of overs to turn things around. And as I speak, a new facet of Jaskaran's game has surfaced in the last couple of months. He's kept for the Team USA. Yeah. He's opened the innings, and now we see him taking the bowling on behalf of the Punjab Blues.
Well, he's a complete cricketer. That is what you call a complete cricketer. He did play for the US All-Stars many years ago, and in fact, just about 2 years ago, he represented the US All-Stars. And he was a wicket-keeper batsman then, and now we see this element of his bowling. I saw him in a minor league do that. Delivery pitch outside the leg stump. Elmo Hutchinson can't do too much with that.
Yes, and they're good mates going at each other because they both play for the U.S. national team. Elmo Hutchinson, one of the sweetest guys you'll ever meet on a cricket field, and it's fiery and pacey, and when he's got the ball in his hand, you don't want to be in front of him. Yet, if you talk to him, he'll be nice and he'll give you that big white smile that all you Caribbean folks are so familiar with. As Jaskaran comes in, Almore plays him for a single over mid-on, and Jaskaran is really taking the charge, adjusting the field on his own bowling. So this is going to be an interesting part of the game, Vinod, I think, because this is the area where a lot of teams either start to slide or they make a comeback in the next couple of overs. That's going to make it or break it for the Titans. So there's Elmore Hutchinson taking a guard, and it's funny. Cricket is a very funny game, right? Especially T20. Wicket-keeper batsman is bowling, and a bowler is batting right now. And Elmore goes for a big one, and it's dropped by Jesse Singh. I think he was very well comfortable underneath until the last moment he had it, and then he's saying he probably lost it in the light. So as you were saying, the lights and outfield make it a little bit tough to feel at night.
Added to the fact you must add the dew factor. The ball is probably coming and it's slippery like a bar of soap. But give Jesse Singh credit. He did all the hard work. He got exactly where he should have been.
And that's a 4 as we talk. Really nicely placed. We're just going to go into the replay really quickly here. But Elmore Hutchinson just pulled that one, a little pitch towards the leg side. I don't think that was what Jaskaran was trying to do, because like anybody who's played cricket in the US for a long time know that the long on, the cow corner, the deep square leg are all of Elmore's favorite areas to take on.
Elmore showing the long handle here at the moment.
Nicely bowled, asking the question. Umpire declines gently in the exchange. A nice smile.
Good old Jaskaran. I think he knew he was trying something. Clearly, Shiraz, that was pitched outside the leg stump. So it's the end of the over, and at the end of it, it's 135 for 6.
So I see a lot of folks that are tuned into our coverage through various channels, either YouTube or Facebook Live or through MAQ TV, really. And I see a lot of folks. I'm going to go through some of them. There is Love Multani. There's somebody who's watching from Connecticut, Karen Smith. Thank you for tuning in. You've got Judy Garcia, who's also following as we move along. There's a little bit of hydration that has been provided to the players in between these overs, so they can carry on and go for the final push. It's the last 4 overs left. for the first inning, and Titans are at 135 for 6 down. And one may feel that some of their best batsmen have gone back to the pavilion, but it seems like Elmore has other ideas, and he's got good company in Carey.
Tell me a bit about Kulwinder Singh. He seems to be one of those bowlers who swings the ball a lot. I'm seeing a lot of late swing from him in the early exchanges.
Yes, as soon as he came in to bowl his first spell on those 2 overs and he pitched that first one, everybody out here in the production team went, "Oh my God, did you see that swing?" And it's interesting how I think some of this is just natural, right? You can teach the trick of the trade for a bit, but the action plays a lot into how far and how wide you can swing the ball.
Let's see, he goes in here. That's a good delivery, just on and about the off stump.
So the lengths are extremely important in T20, as I noticed, especially at the highest level watching the T20 World Cup. I think to study and understand how the wicket is playing and how you use that length between where the ball is pitched and where the batsman is standing makes all the world of difference in terms of how you execute your plans in getting runs. As we see, Kulwinder is hitting the right length as he comes into bowl. Again, really, really short of the full pitch delivery that can go wherever the batsmen want. He's trying to make sure that there's some wicket in play.
Back of a length, keeping them in 2 minds all the time. That's the length you want to adopt at this stage.
And here he comes in with some purpose. Oh, there you go. And he just completely cleared him out. All right. That's the best Yorker, Vinod, right at the bottom of off stump, right? One of the hardest ones to defend. I think the one in the middle stump and the leg stump is kind of simpler a little bit relatively. Now, no Yorkers are easy to defend, but the one outside, just hitting the bottom of the off stump is probably the most difficult one.
I want you to look at that again, Shiraz, and for the benefit of our viewers, you would see what he has been doing from his very first spell. He's getting late in swing. So the ball is actually at one point in time when he delivers, it's like 4th stump, and all of a sudden it comes back in and castles poor Hutchinson. He goes for 7 of 7, and he could have done some damage. Riyad Emrit, who is an all-rounder, noted all-rounder, he is now coming in. Look at it. It just swings late and crashes into the off stump.
And Kulwinder brings out his little bit of bhangra, right? I see the finger moving in the right motion, in the right direction. If there's some music that we would have, I think he would break a move.
Yeah. Punjabi music.
Best in the world.
I love it. Just this morning, the crew was coming down, the production crew coming down, and I got a request from none other than Sasha Crease for Punjabi music.
Look at that. How cultured is Sasha?
Yes,
and
she is.
It is such a pleasure to have representation of a female voice and at US Open, and also how she has been able to really be part of this commentating team. I've been listening to her coverage and the study of the game, like you said, the understanding of the game. It's phenomenal, and I'm sure that Sasha will be a long-standing feature within the US Open for years to come.
Yeah, definitely. And also, she has impressed. Definitely has impressed. You can't also forget the efforts of Huba and Rima, who has been under your charge today. And they say once you have a good coach could bring the best out in their players. I think you would have done that. I think they will also be a fixture.
Yes, absolutely. They're working hard. I think that's the part that I think is most phenomenal about the US Open. And let's just get back to Kulwinder just really quickly before we kind of break into that thought.
This is clipped away.
Nicely played towards deep square leg. I think he's really comfortable and really confident in the ability to just not go for runs, right? He just went for like 4 runs in the 17th over. Got a wicket of a set batsman. He's done wonderful for his team in coming back and preventing them. But going back to the US Open and what it does for...
could I just stop you for 1 second, Shiraz? Could I play the song that Miss Sasha Craze wanted this morning? Could I just give you 2 lines?
So when we get Sasha back on, we're going to have her request this song, and I want to hear what are the words she used to request the song. Jaskaran's back on, and our DJ Vinod here is lighting the commentary booth with some Punjabi music for our viewers. I hope you guys are all enjoying it. I see Timothy Suraj Bali who's joining us here. We've got Steve Babrin from Brooklyn watching, and that's out.
Well, a wicket there, the Bangra beat, bringing a wicket, and Kari Pair leaves the arena. I think Kari Pair wants to come into the box to listen to the Bangra music.
Yes, I think he has no choice, unfortunately. And Jaskaran also from Punjab, India. I think this has become good omen for the folks from Punjab that are in the game with Jaskaran taking a wicket right at the time you're playing the Bhangra music. So I think Jaskaran owes a little bit of thanks, gratitude, perhaps dinner to Sasha.
Yeah, definitely. I think Sasha has to cash in. So Jaskaran Malhotra, he has now taken a wicket.
But that's so valuable, right, Vinod, in terms of being a cricketer that is really well-rounded, right? At the time of the need of the team, you can put on any hat or any pair of gloves and you could execute and add value to your outfit.
Yeah, definitely. And, you can also, the youngsters can learn so much from them as well. And the score is now 140 for 8. Riyad Emrit, as I said before, is a noted all-rounder, has a first-class century, bats 7 or 8 when he plays for Trinidad and Tobago.
Jaskaran comes in and then it's taken for a 4 and it's just lightning fast. No one to stop it. What a great shot by Riyad.
Yeah, that was pulled away by Riyad down to cow corner with clinical precision. Both fielders were not very far from the ball, as you can see there, and they just couldn't stop it. I think Brian Lara, who was here early on, graced us with his presence. He would have been proud to have seen his fellow Trinidad and Tobago player hit a shot like that.
And one more time, same area, but he finds Jesse Singh, who has done well to keep that just to a single, and Jaskaran getting back on his run-up. And now Nikhil Datta, who's a new batsman in, taking the leg stump card, is going to be facing. He looks like he's got the slaughter out, really. He's ready to go.
Look at that bat grip. Is he a butcher?
We'll find out. Oh, that's a nice work right behind the stumps. The way he was really standing up on his stance, it seemed to me like he was going to swing, but at the last moment, he just switched it to a little drive towards the offside. So I was surprised for everybody.
Yeah, and he's holding that bat like a wood cutter, to be honest.
Yes, and perhaps Jaskaran knows them well, and he should know that what he's looking for is a full pitch delivery, and once he finds his length, he would want to deposit that outside the boundary rope. That's the shot that we were talking about. Nicely played, and seems like it's gone for a boundary. Look at that.
Yeah, playing with the open face, and of course allowing the ball to come on to him. Never tried to, at no point there, Shiraz, he tried to overhit that delivery. Look at it. He allowed it to come to him and was able to use the full blade of the bat to get it down through a cover point for 4.
So that's the last delivery coming up at 149. There's like 13 deliveries left. I reckon they can get about 20 runs of that. It'll take them to 169, 170. We've got a game on our hand. Jaskaran coming into bowl. Again to Nikhil, and I think they're going to try to keep it to a single, and he's going to retain strike for the next over and face the wicket-taking bowler. And
well, Shiraz, before you go for the young lady will join you for the last 2 overs, so you can have a conversation with her. I just want to play probably a few seconds again of her favorite song.
can we have the camera towards the commentary booth, perhaps one of the cameras, to get Vinod's moves out? That's Vinod, and we've got Sasha right here. Thank you. Thank you, Vinod. Good evening.
Good evening. I am back after my favourite song being played on repeat, it sounds.
Yes, and how did you come about that song, Sasha? Perhaps you want to indulge in a story for our viewers and listeners.
It's one for the ages, it must be said. I believe I first came about that song yesterday in the car with Vinod, and then he's decided to play it again this morning.
I think Kulvinder and Jaskaran is going to be requesting this song to be played on the way they've been bowling while this song is being playing. Kulvinder has really kept those figures really nice and tidy. He's in his 3rd over. He's only gone for 15. What do you reckon? How much would the Titans get to, in your opinion, Sasha?
Well, we've seen today a mix of results, but I reckon they need to get 175. I think that's probably par score, and probably a score they could probably defend whilst they take the field.
Nicely bowled, tried to stop that single, but yet it's I think at least 10 balls, 10 runs, so we're looking at 163 for sure, unless something drastic happens, a little bit more than that.
Yeah, I think that might be a little bit short, but under the lights, you just don't really know how the ball's going to play. And with the dew coming in, it's going to be different conditions, and that's gone straight up in the air, and the bowler
has got it.
But
there's some discussion around perhaps interruption or obstruction by the bowler or the batsman. So there is some, but unfortunately the batsman has to walk away. While we have the wicket down, Sasha, your boys are down by 3 wickets after 11 runs, and are you...
Thought we weren't going to bring that one up.
But I hope we have no viewers in England right now knowing that their good luck charm is sitting in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, while the English team is trailing with 11 runs.
11 for 3. It's probably the worst start of the Ashes England could have wanted. Burns being out first ball to Stark, and the rest of the team seems to be following suit. So we'll brush over that. We don't need to talk about the Ashes. We're here in Miami, far, far away from Australia, watching some awesome cricket. T20 cricket. Test cricket's boring. We don't want to talk about that right now.
It's not boring for the Aussie fans right now, Sasha.
Well, it's boring for me. I don't want to watch it anymore.
Well, let's talk about briefly, while we've got the new batsman on, about Ben Stokes' return and how does he come back, and at the prime and the time of his amazing performances, he had decided to walk away, citing some mental health issues. It's so tough to play cricket or do anything in the bubble.
Yeah, I think the last few years have been really tough for cricketers. First and foremost, it's been great that we've managed to get tournaments such as this on during some really hard times for everyone, and it's good that I think cricketers nowadays have the confidence and the and the ability to be able to say that they're not feeling great and I need some time out. And Ben Stokes has been at the front and foremost of that, saying he just needs to take a break, he needs to step back, be with his family, and just get himself back to who he is. And as you know, he's made the trip to Australia. He's playing back in the England Whites, and he's probably out batting already after after half an hour. And there
you go. So Kulvinder comes into bowl, and Ricky plays him nicely a paddle sweep towards a little bit of a fine leg area for another single. So really nice, right? So Kulvinder's probably got the figures of the tournament so far if he can get through this last ball with probably a single. 4 overs for 18 runs. I think somebody's got 12 runs bowling 4 overs earlier in the day today. So some seriously nice miserly bowling performances on the day 2 of US Open.
Yeah, we've seen some really tight bowling and some really good fielding, actually, which has obviously helped the bowlers, but...
Nicely played. Just use the pace of the ball, and they probably should be able to get 2, but seems like Ricky is content to release the strike to Nikhil because he's probably a little bit more subtle batsman, having played 6 balls and gone for 9 runs. And that's the end of the over. So going back to the Ashes, and I know it's not something that you want to talk about, but I think what Ben Stokes did was very heroic.
Yeah, it was really brave. I mean, heroic in the fact that he's played some incredible innings, especially Headingley, one of the most notable performances, and also the World Cup final back in 2019. So I think he's definitely someone that people look up to, and for him to be able to come out and say that he's not in the right headspace, he needs to be able to, get himself okay. I think it's really great, and it sets a good precedent for other people to say it doesn't make you weak, it doesn't make you look any worse than anyone else, and hopefully he's managed to get back to his full strength. We're going to need him out in Australia, so I'm really pleased to have him back.
We've got Zia Khan coming in for his 3rd over, and that is taken nicely, very comfortably taken at long off, and we have Nikhil Datta, who is going to go back to the pavilion, and Titans are now all done. 5 deliveries to go, and that's in a 2020 game. I think that's criminal.
Yeah, we were saying this earlier. We haven't yet seen all 10 batsmen out, and this is the first time all 10 wickets have fallen in the 2021 US Open. That was, he had to go for it. He had to really start hitting it. I think they're probably about 20 runs short of where they should be, and to leave it on these kind of players.
So let's go through the scorecard a bit for the Titans. I think some really good performances by Shorn Otley, S. Vijay Ratne. We've got Kashif Ali, who played in Kashmir Premier League but has not really triggered off. He only went for 4. Naveen Stewart, to me, was the highlight of the batting innings, getting 38 in just 16 deliveries and getting his team to a decent total, perhaps 10 or 15 runs short of what they wanted to be. And then as we go through the bowling card, I think Kulwinder is going to be leading the charge with 4 overs, just 18 runs at an econ of 4.5. These are Ashes figures for a bowler. Sasha, I'm sorry I keep bringing the Ashes up.
Don't be silly. I'm sure there'll be more to talk about over the few coming days. But three wickets to Kulwinder Singh is incredibly impressive, and each of the bowlers getting 1 or 2 wickets. I think Ashley Nurse did well coming back after 15 went off his first over, so to come back for 31 off 4 overs is not a bad effort.
So now that we are in the innings break, I think we're going to take a break for a little bit. Before we go into the break, we want to talk about that song and your affiliation with it as of this morning. We know it is very notorious in inducing people to new kind of music that they fall in love with for the rest of their lives. So have you heard this song before? Are you familiar with the Punjabi Bhangra genre of music, and how long have you been enjoying the beats of Punjab?
Well, it's like I say, it's only been 2 days, but it could be the new songs on my playlist. The flight over from London took 9.5 hours, so I've got a lot of time on my way back to really get involved with the music and with the Punjab Blues. I mean, is there such a thing as music, Punjab Blues? Well, singing the Punjab Blues.
Well, you can do that, and the flight is so long, you may be singing it accurately in Punjabi along the beats.
You never know. Stranger things have happened.
So, folks, we have an innings break here, and then we're going to leave you back with a nice one of the picks by our very own DJ Vinod, and we'll be right back after the second inning starts.
goes up there.
Welcome back, folks. Sasha and I are back at your service as the Punjab Blues try to chase a total. And on bat, we've got Sunny Sohal, who is an ex-US cricketer, an ex-IPL player, who's from the Delhi Daredevils, I think. And then Jaskaran Malhotra on the other side. Elmer Hutchinson is opening the bowling. First ball, first run. What do you reckon, Sasha? I know that's tough to pick just starting, but I believe 155, they would have to bowl really, really well.
Yeah, I think they'll have to get some early wickets in here to at least give them a shot at holding the Punjab Blues down to less than 155 at a I can never say this word, required run rate of just 7.8. You'd like to think they can just push away, don't have to do anything too stupid early on, and they should make their way up to 155 to win.
And that's a white ball, so that's a freebie. Very nicely collected by the wicketkeeper there. Really nicely done. As the umpire indicates, that's another ball that Elmore would have to run back and deliver. Probably one of the worst feelings as the opening bowler is to not find the right length right from the go when defending a small total such as this one.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I think also for batsmen, sometimes the small totals are the ones that get stumped. They feel like it's easy to get to, and
yeah. And as Elmer runs in, we've got a ground staff that just leisurely decided to drive right in front of the side screen, and so yeah, everything's happening here in Fort Lauderdale, Sasha.
Not the most sensible move, but we'll go again. And Hutchinson comes up and bowls at Sunil and pushes it through, but no run.
Nicely played by Jaskaran Malhotra. He knows that Elmore likes to bring the ball in to the right-hander because he's got that nice in-swinger that comes in from around the wicket. And Jaskaran must have played Elmore tons of times in the nets because they were together in the US team and have played several tournaments, so they're familiar with each other. So this is a nice little battle between the game, and the way Punjab Blues starts with their top order being so star-studded is going to make all the difference. And that was really nicely played, but Elmore knows where he's bowling, and he's got his men right where they need to be to prevent these gaps from being exploited and going for runs.
Yeah, and for everyone or anyone new to cricket, the first 6 overs are the power play, which means that no more than 2 players can be outside the inner ring, and that is why you'll see a lot of green men closer to the batsman.
Nicely bowled, and the ball's right there, and the keeper was just looking around. There's a good opportunity and hits the ball straight and goes for a Ben Stokes kind of 4 perhaps. But there it got stopped by the fielder. There's some overthrows there. That's gone for 3. Look at that. Nicely run. Well done, Jaskaran Malhotra and Sunny Sohal. This is the unsexy part of cricket, right? Running between the wickets, not going for the big hits. And once batsmen figure out this formula, then there's success all around.
Yeah, I think the throw from the keeper was obviously a good one. It was
We're never alone. And that is our strength. Because when we're doubted, we'll play as one. When we're held back, we'll go farther and harder. If we're not taken seriously, we'll prove that wrong. And if we don't fit the sport, we'll change the sport. We know things won't always go our way.
And the world's sporting events are postponed or cancelled.
But whatever it is, we'll find a way. And when things aren't fair, we'll come together for change.
We have a responsibility
to make this world a better place.
And no matter how bad it gets, we will always come back stronger. Because nothing can stop what we can do together. We're never alone. And that is our strength. Because when we're doubted, we'll play as one. When we're held back, we'll go farther and harder. If we're not taken seriously, we'll prove that wrong. And if we don't fit the sport, we'll change the sport. We know things won't always go our way.
And the world's sporting events are postponed or cancelled.
But whatever it is, we'll find a way. And when things aren't fair, we'll come together for change.
We have a responsibility
To make this world a better place.
And no matter how bad it gets, we will always come back stronger. Because nothing can stop what we can do together.
Punjab Blues 7-for-none. And we have Kerry Pierre bowling from the other end to the media centre. Partnership of 7 between these two batsmen.
And yes, we've got a correction. Unfortunately, that was not Jaskaran. So number 7 is Saeed Abdullah, who's joined Sunny Sohal at the crease. So apologies to our viewers and Jaskaran for misrepresenting the opening pair here for Punjab Blues. But nonetheless, we're back and everything seems now peachy now that the scorecards have been fixed. We've got Sunny Sohal 2 of 2 and Saeed Abdullah 4 runs of 5 deliveries. So they're starting well. The Titans have started really well, nice and tight. And let's see how they go forward from here. Another dot ball, and that's what keeps on adding the pressure, Sasha. This is the game, right? It's not the runs, it's not the deliveries, it's not the shots, it's the pressure.
Yeah, exactly that. And it does make it slightly more difficult for the batsmen to get started with all these dot balls. They'll want to sort of score at a regular rate. And every dot ball just piles on a little bit more pressure. And might force them to do something they wouldn't otherwise do.
So the Titans have done well to keep both of these batsmen relatively quiet. They've placed the fielders in the right spot, so there's been no boundaries really, which is key in the power play, right? If you can get through the first 3 or 4 overs without conceding any boundaries, then you're setting a nice tone to your defense for that total.
Yeah, definitely. And as you mentioned, it's not the biggest total that we've seen on this pitch. So they're going to have to keep it tight to make sure that the Punjab Blues don't get away too quickly or early on in this game.
So I think Harry Pierre is absolutely doing what he was supposed to do, like just remove the pace of the ball, pitching it in the right areas, just letting the batsman just take singles and not giving anything outside off with a lot of width or full to swing and take him over the ground. So I think just a couple of more deliveries similar to that, a few singles, the game's on.
Yeah, 100%. There's one more ball of this second over, and Pierre's only gone for 2 off it so far. And As you say, no boundaries yet in their innings, so a little bit of pressure coming on this opening pair.
Comes in. Nicely bowled again, right in the stumps, and that's the key, right? If you can see, a lot of international teams have started their T20 innings or a chase with spinners now, and one of the reasons why they do that typically is because of the power play, in my opinion, right? Because you cannot have the deep fine leg and the deep third man in the power play, because that's your two guys, and if you bowl anything that's short of length, then it goes over mid-wicket, long on, or extra cover. So it's always a great idea if you've got somebody who can sling the ball into the stumps and it's not too pacey from a spin, like Imad Wasim for Pakistan. We've seen other teams who in the 2020s, like West Indies does it with Sunil Narayan, and used to do it with DJ, with some other bowlers. So as that always helps, but that seems like this is going to be the first boundary of the Punjab Blues innings, where Elmore Hutchinson has been pulled over deep square leg by Sunny Sohal for a 4.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. We have more often seen spinners starting off the bowling, and same with England. Adil Rashid has started in a few of our games during the 2020 World Cup, and